this practice. And so I'm kind of playing with this idea of sequencing classes kind of from the ground up, working on different areas of the body, different chakras, and just kind of theming classes around that. So last week we focused a lot on strength and flexibility of our feet, ankles, calves, kind of that foundational stuff. And so following that, doesn't matter if you were there or not, this week we're going to focus a lot on kind of our knees and the muscles surrounding our knees that keep those stable and able to absorb shock and intensity and all the things we do on our feet and on our legs in our lives. So with that being said, perhaps set an intention for your practice today to find that balance between mobility, flow, movement, and also stability and control at the same time. Because it's really that stability and that controlled movement that keeps us safe in all of the things that we do. So we'll be playing with that today. You can start to bring in some deeper breaths in your child's pose. Create that constriction at the back of your throat, moving towards that Ujjayi breath. Expansive warming breath, so audible, oceanic sounding exhales. And then in your child's pose, begin to walk your hands towards the left-hand side of your mat. Maybe off the edge of your mat. Keep pressing the right hip down towards your right heel. Find a good side body stretch for your whole right side. Just settle into a few deep breaths here. And slowly walk your hands through center and then over to the other side. Just pressing your left hip back and down, breathing in space to the whole left side of your waist. And slowly walk your hands back through center in your child's pose. Transition towards a tabletop. Take your time to come to hands and knees. And find a neutral spine in your tabletop. So nice flat back. Fingers spread nice and wide. Eyes of the elbows facing in towards each other. And knees directly under the hips. And start to awaken your spine here. So inhale to arch your back. Look up, lift the tailbone, and exhale to round your back, tuck your chin, cat pose a few more times with your breath. Inhaling to arch into cow, exhaling to round into cat. And start to add any additional organic movements that would feel good for you here, whether that's pressing all the way back towards the child's pose, maybe any circular or side-to-side movements with the hips. Tune into what your body needs from your practice today. Take your next few breaths to even out your movement. And come back to a neutral spine, tabletop shape. From here, start to shift all of your weight towards your right hand. And inhale, extend your left arm forward and your right leg back. Reach through opposites. Keep the belly drawing in, back nice and flat. Inhale for length. Exhale, elbow to knee, round your back. Inhale, stretch it out, grow long. Exhale, pull it in, engage your core. 3 more times with your breath. The next time you extend everything out, pause, find balance. Slowly lower just the left hand, keep the right leg reaching back. Three-legged tabletop. Now inhale here. Exhale to a modified tiger. Pull your right knee towards your right tricep and press the floor away. You can round your back as you pause here. And then inhale, extend it out. Then exhale, pull your knee in towards your nose, round your back. Press your nose back towards your knee. Let's pause here. Then inhale, extend it out. Last one, exhale, pull your right knee towards your left tricep. So twist the knee across your body as you press the mat away around your back. Pause, lift the knee higher. And then exhale, return to a tabletop shape. Both knees down, shift your hips from side to side. Just a little neutralizing movement. Make your way back to center. Ground down through your left palm. Inhale, extend your right arm forward, left leg back. Second side, bird dog. Inhale here. And exhale, elbow to knee, pull it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round your back, engage your core. 3 more times with your breath. Your next extension, pause. And slowly lower the right hand, 3-legged tabletop. Moving into those modified tigers. Inhale here. Exhale, left knee towards your left tricep. Pull it forward, pull the left knee up. Round your back, press the mat away. And inhale, re-extend. And exhale to the center, pull your knee towards your nose. Press your nose back towards your knee, pause. And then inhale, re-extend it back. Exhale to twist, left knee towards the right tricep. Keep rounding, puffing up your upper back, pressing the mat away. Lift your knee higher up towards your armpit. On an exhale, tabletop. Sway the hips side to side, or a couple of cat-cows. Any neutralizing movement that you need. From here, let's just flip onto the backs of the hands for just a moment. Shift your weight more back towards your knees, stretch your wrists. Since we have one more thing on our hands. And then when you're ready, come back onto the palms, spreading fingers wide. Inhale to twist open to your left. Lift your left arm nice and high. And exhale to thread the needle, sweep it through, lower down, all the way onto that temple. Walk your right hand forward. And take a few breaths in your twist here. Inhaling to find expansion and lightness. Exhaling to let your body soften. Draw your right hand back underneath the right shoulder. And inhale to untwist, re-extend the left arm high. Exhale to tabletop shape. Inhale, sweep your right arm nice and high, open up. And exhale to thread the needle, twist, lower down, reach through. Walk your left hand forward. Slowly draw the left hand back underneath the shoulder. And then inhale, re-extend the right arm high, open up. And exhale to tabletop shape. From your tabletop, tuck your toes. Slowly lift your sit bones high to the sky. Find your downward facing dog. And then move in any way that feels good in your down dog. Pedaling out your feet. Your knees, shaking your head from side to side. Whatever you need here. Eventually, in your downward facing dog, step your feet wide to the side edges of your mat. So widen out the stance of your feet. Keep pressing firmly through both hands. Long spine, flat back. On an inhale, bend your knees, lift your heels. Press your chest even more back towards your thighs as you bend your knees. Take another inhale here. Exhale, spiral your heels to the left. Pause. Press equally through both hands. Next, inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, pause in center. On an exhale, twist your heels to the right. Keep the knees bent, press through both hands. Your next inhale, come back through center. Step your feet back to hip width distance apart. Bend your knees and walk your hands back towards your feet. Come to a ragdoll pose at the back of your mat. So put a generous bend in your knees so your belly can easily rest on your thighs. Bring hands to opposite elbows, find a little sway. Let your head completely relax. And in any forward fold, especially if your hamstrings are tight, or if forward bending with straight legs causes any pain anywhere, you're always welcome to bend your knees. Release your fingertips back down to your mat. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time, all the way up to standing. And find a Tadasana, bring your hands to heart center. Bring your big toes all the way towards each other to touch. Check that the side edges of your feet are parallel to the side edges of your mat. And then same as last week, find that sense of lift through the arches of your feet. If you're drawing energy up from the earth, through your feet, your legs, your spine. So energizing the feet in order to energize your whole mountain pose. And release your hands, find a block if you have one. Same thing, Tadasana, but this time bring the block in between your thighs if you have one. So your feet will be more like hip width distance apart. And energize your feet, energize your legs here to squeeze in towards the block as you stand up nice and tall, as you lift the arches of your feet. So there's a sense of internally rotating the thighs in order to squeeze the block, so that if someone came and like punched the block, it wouldn't even move at all. Then check in with your knees, engage your quads, so engage your thigh muscles so that your kneecaps lift, so that if you could see your knees, I can't, there would be some like wrinkling of the skin on top of your kneecap, puckering up that area, lifting the kneecaps by engaging the thigh muscles. See if you can find that action. Feel free to unmute if there's any questions. Keep that action, internal rotation, squeezing the block and lifting the kneecaps. Find chair pose, sit back, keep squeezing your block. Shift your weight slightly more back towards the heels of your feet in your chair pose. Receive your breath here. And then inhale, stand up, Tadasana. You can release your block, let that go. Definitely let me know any questions on any of that alignment work. Otherwise, step towards the top of your mat. Bring your hands to heart center. And inhale, reach your arms high to the sky. Keep all of that action in the legs. Exhale to fold. Uttanasana, bend your knees if hamstrings are tight. Inhale to a halfway lift, flat back. And exhale to plant your palms, step or jump back, plank pose. Pause in your plank. Press the floor away. Energize through the balls of your feet. Inhale here. Exhale, bend your knees, press your way back. And slowly lift your tailbone up and back, straighten the knees, downward facing dog. Flow with this transition a couple more times. Inhale, shift forward to plank, round your back. Exhale, bend your knees, shift back, downward facing dog. 2 more times, flowing movement. Try and take out any pauses in between your poses. And we'll meet back in a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, feet are hip width distance. Yet imagine squeezing that block with your thighs. So find that sense of internal rotation. Engage the thigh muscles to keep your kneecaps lifted, quads turned on. Now inhale, lift your left leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, pull your left knee towards your left tricep, shift forward. Inhale, 3-legged dog, lift it high. Getting our core work into. Exhale, tiger pose, knee to nose. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, cross it over, left knee towards your right elbow. And inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale to step forward. See if you can land on the heel and then the ball of your foot. Or just notice how close you are to being able to step forward in that way. Runner's lunge, lengthen your spine. And inhale, rise high crescent. Reach through fingertips. Lift through the crown of your head. Shoulders drop away from your ears. Take an inhale here. Exhale, fly your arms back, lean forward. From here, step forward to chair pose, big toes touching. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, sink a little deeper into your chair. Imagine squeezing your block, or you can always find your block again if that helps. Shift all of your weight towards your left foot. And then inhale, pick up your right knee, standing balance. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. So hands to hips, just because I feel like this is a little bit more stable for this drill we're about to do. So this is your inhale, standing balance. On your exhale, you will lean forward, step back to a lunge, bend both knees. Maybe the right knee just barely touches. And inhale back to your standing balance. Move with your breath or slow this down more if that helps you. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lunge, same side. Right knee coming forward and stepping back. And then check in with your left knee as you lunge. Is it wobbly or is it stable and strong? For most bodies, the left knee should track forward directly over your second toe as you lunge. Next time you step back to your lunge, pause, release your right knee all the way down. Hands frame your foot, find your half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. So lifting the toes of the left foot. And lean your forehead forward. Keep drawing the belly in, slight core engagement in order to forward fold here. And if this is a lot, if this strains anything, then you don't have to straighten the left knee all the way. Bend your left knee, walk your hands forward, and then tuck your back toes. Set up warrior two alignment in your legs, so heel to arch alignment. On an inhale, rise warrior two. So left arm reaches forward, right arm back. Nice. Sink a little deeper, try and see if you can get your knee directly over your ankle. So there are benefits if you can see yourself on Zoom. It's a little alignment check. Drop your shoulders away from your ears. Then slowly press into this front foot. Set up for triangle pose. Bump your hips back, reach forward. I highly suggest using a block underneath that left hand. Left hand lowers to a block. your ankle or your calf, right arm reaches high. And notice if you're locking out your knees, if you're jamming them all the way to straight, instead put a micro bend in your left knee. Find that quadricep engagement. So your kneecap lifts. There's a little bit of a bend. That's going to protect the joint a lot more than hyperextending or locking it out. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bring your right hand to your right hip. Look forward, shift forward, walk your hand or your block off the top of your mat. Start to find half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Opening up towards the right side of your mat. You can keep hand to hip or reach up. Maybe lift your gaze, look up. And same thing, check in with that left leg. Are you locking it out? Or are you keeping a little micro bend, muscles engaged to support the knee? Take one more inhale here. And exhale, slowly step back. Walk your hands back, frame your foot, runner's lunge. Inhale to sweep the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your knee, draw circles, or flip your dog, wild thing. If that's what your body is craving. Return here, downward facing dog. With your own breath, inhale forward to plank pose, round your back. Exhale, bend your knees, shift back, downward facing dog. Two more times, two more breaths. Wave-like motion of the spine. And from your downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee towards your right tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, press your nose back towards your knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, guide it across, right knee towards your left tricep, left armpit, lift it high. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, step forward, land heel, and then ball of the foot. Runner's lunge, lengthen your spine. Stabilize through your feet to prepare. And inhale to high crescent. Reach up. Perhaps lift your gaze. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, fly back. Step forward to chair pose. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, sink into your chair. Nice. Pause here. Imagine squeezing that block. Internal rotation of the thighs. Shift all of your weight to your right foot. And pick up your left knee. Standing balance. Lower your hands to your hips. So preparing for that little lunging exercise on this side. You can move with breath, but if that's unstable for you, then slow it down even more. Really track the right knee over the second toe as you move. Inhale here. Exhale, lunge it back. Bend both knees. Inhale, lift. Continue. So most of the weight stays in your front foot, even as you lunge. You can lean the torso forward for balance. Just noticing if the right knee has a wobble or if it's nice and steady, tracking forward over your middle toes. Couple more. The next time you lunge back, slowly lower left knee down. Release your fingertips to frame your front foot. Walk yourself back to your half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. Lengthening yourself forward over your midline. Right toes draw back towards your face. Slowly re-bend your front knee, walk your hands forward, tuck your back toes, set up warrior two in your legs, have your block nearby. Wait for an inhale to rise, warrior two, reach forward and back. Gaze over your right hand middle finger. Press consciously down through the back edge of that back foot, even as you lunge forward, knee over your ankle. And slowly straighten the front knee, set up for Trikonasana, bump your hips back. So not locking this out, not hyperextending, keep a little micro bend. Reach and lean forward, rotate open, triangle pose. So keeping the thighs engaged as you expand everything away from your center. Maybe look up past your left hand, if that's okay, in your neck. You can inhale here. And exhale, bring your left hand to your left hip. Shift your gaze forward off the top of your mat. Walk your right hand or your block forward. Slowly grow into your half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. Oh, maybe balance is different on this side. Mine just was. Take your time to add your layers in your pose. Maybe reaching left hand high, maybe looking up. And make sure you're not locking out that right knee. One more inhale here. And your exhale, slowly step back. Walk your hands back to frame your foot, runner's lunge. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, bend your knee, draw circles, or flip your dog wild thing. Whatever you did on the other side. Make your way back to your downward facing dog. Couple resting breaths in your downward facing dog. And then bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. Inhale here to prepare. Exhale, step or hop, landing lightly to the top of your mat. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold, bend your knees, lower all the way down to a seat. Have a block nearby again. Find yourself in bridge pose prep. So lying all the way down on your back. Feet about hip width distance apart. Take the block in between the thighs once again and squeeze the block here. Bring your arms to like that robot arm position, fingers lift. On an inhale, lift your hips. Squeeze the block. Exhale, lower. Continue with your breath. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to lower. And a lot of times, yoga teachers in bridge pose will say to soften your glutes. For the purposes of this class, squeeze your glutes. So squeeze your glutes at the top. Try and maintain that contraction as you lift and lower. Oftentimes when we get knee problems or pain, it's because of not engaging our glutes as much as we can in running or skiing or other activities. Next time you lower, remove your block. Plug your knees in, rock from side to side. Massage your low back. Begin to rock and roll forward and back. And take your time to come all the way up to standing. Option to stand up without using your hands. So if you have a wall, We'll use the wall real quick. If not, you can just practice half moon without the wall again. You have a wall available. It feels really nice to lean back into the wall. So what you'll do is have your block in your left hand, left side towards the wall. Step your left foot forward. Use your block about a few inches away from the wall. So the block is kind of in front of your pinky toe of the left foot. And then as you find your half moon, lean back into the wall. Feel that support. Careful not to lock out the bottom knee too much. Notice how maybe you can feel a little more expansive. The chest can feel a little bit more open while you're here. Try your other side with your wall. I just think it feels really good. And then now we know how this pose can feel. We're going to try and find this much opening, this much balance without the wall. Doesn't matter if you feel that today or in the future, just as an intention. Make your way back towards the top of your mat, Tadasana. We'll meet here. Press your feet firmly down, lift to the top of your head. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale to fold. Inhale to halfway lift, lengthen. And exhale, plant your hands, step or jump back. Plank pose. Flow through your chaturanga this time. Your transition of choice through a cobra or upward facing dog. Make your way back to your downward facing dog. Adding on a little bit to our flow this time. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, left knee to the right. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale to step forward, runner's lunge. And inhale to rise, high crescent. Directly exhale, lean forward, fly your arms back. Then inhale, step forward, chair pose, reach your arms high. Exhale, sink into your chair. Nice. Inhale, pick up your right knee. Exhale, eagle pose this time. So wrap your right knee on top, right elbow underneath. Draw your elbows down towards your chest. Squeeze everything in towards your center. Either stay here, nice tall spine, or option to round your elbows towards your knees. Round your back curl forward. And then inhale, rise back to your eagle pose, tall spine. And then release your hands to your hips. Pick up your right knee, standing balance, the top of your mat. Just a few times this time. Inhale here. Exhale, lean forward, step back, lunge, bend both knees. Inhale, standing balance. Exhale, step it back. 2 more times, since we've already done this. The next time you step back, deliver your right knee down. Find your half split. Ardha Hanumanasana. So aspects of a forward fold. The belly's drawing in so that you can lean forward with a flat-ish low back. Think about forehead or crown of the head towards your toes rather than forehead towards your knee. Either stay here in your half split or start to shift your left foot from side to side, rotating the entire leg in the socket from your femur bone. Just notice how this movement might help stretch some of those areas that are hard to stretch. Make your way back to center. Bend your front knee, walk your hands forward. Set up warrior two in your feet. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Inhale to straighten, bump your hips back. Exhale, triangle. Pause in your triangle pose. Take up lots of space here. Feel this expansion. Slowly lower right hand to right hip. Shift your gaze forward. Walk your block forward in front of the pinky toe. Inhale to half moon. Ardha Chandrasana. A few more breaths to find maybe a sense of steadiness, ease, even here. Exhale to slowly step back. Find a runner's lunge, hands frame your foot. Walk both hands to the inside of your left foot and turn your hips towards the long edge of your mat. Prasarita, wide forward fold. And also keep a micro bend in the knees here, not hyperextending. Lean your weight forward in your feet. Let your head relax. And take a few breaths. And then inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bend your left knee, walk your hands to the left. So it can just be like a little bit of a lunge in your left knee. Or if you're feeling it, it can be all the way down towards Skandasana, letting the right toes lift. Your choice. Find a place where you start to get inner thigh stretch. Stretch for the hips. On an inhale, shift through center. And bend the right knee, sink into your lunge on the right side, pause. And a couple times move with breath. Inhale through center, exhale to the left. Inhale center, exhale to the right. Whatever depth is appropriate for you. Next time you bend your left knee, pause. Turn back towards the top of your mat, find a runner's lunge. Inhale to a three-legged dog. And exhale to bend your knee, open your hip. Or flip your dog wildly here. Travel back to your downward facing dog for the second side. First, inhale forward to plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga, lower all the way or halfway down. Inhale through a cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale to your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, high pose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, guide it across to the left. Inhale, three-legged dog. And exhale, carefully step through runner's lunge. Inhale to rise, high crescent. Exhale, lean forward, fly back. Inhale to chair pose, Utkatasana, big toes touching. Exhale, sit back in that chair. Slowly rise, pick up your left knee, standing balance. And then Garudasana, cross your left knee over, left elbow underneath, hug shoulders or eagle arms, drawing the elbows down towards your chest. Either stay here or option to round, elbows over the knees. Breathing in space all along your spine. If you folded forward, inhale back to that Garudasana. Release your hands to your hips. Pick up your left knee, standing balance here. Last time on this side with those little lunges. Inhale, stand up nice and tall. Exhale, step back with control. Both knees bend. Inhale to the top. Exhale, lean forward, step it back. 2 more times. Just notice if there's a wobble or if there's a lot of stability in that right knee. Last time, lower your left knee down. Hands frame your foot. Shift back, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Over your right leg. First, finding as much length as you can through the spine while you're here. And keep that option to shift the right foot from side to side. Rotation from your femur of this entire right leg. And just noticing any areas or points of tenderness, tightness. You can always pause in one spot if that gives you something that you need. Slowly shift forward, bend your front knee. Set up warrior 2 in your legs. Inhale to rise. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Inhale, set up Trikonasana. So straighten, but keep a micro bend in the right knee. Bump your hips back, shift forward. Open up, triangle pose. The crown of the head and all 4 of your limbs are extending away from your center. Keep the quads turned on, so kneecaps lift on both legs. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Shift your gaze forward. Work your way into your half moon, Ardha Chandrasana here. Last time on this side. So engagement through the feet, the entire legs, even the one that is lifted. Flex your toes back towards your shin on that left leg. Keep that leg active. One more inhale here. Exhale, step back. Find a runner's lunge. Walk your hands to the inside of your right foot and turn feet to parallel, Prasarita, hinge from your hips. Let your head relax down towards your mat. Steady the breath, hips sped up. On an inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Turn your heels in so your toes are slightly out. Bend your knees, bring your hands to heart center, goddess pose or horse riding pose. So send your sit bones back and down. Make sure you can see your toes in front of your knees. So you're not forward like this. You're drawing your thighs back, knees back, length through your spine. Next exhale, sink an inch deeper and hold. Nice. Inhale to rise. Walk your feet all the way in towards each other. Find a Tadasana, still facing the long side of your mat. And then hands can come to hips. Step both feet to either the top or the back of your mat, just wherever you can see. Doesn't really matter which direction you go. So actually options for what we're doing next. For less impact, you can do that same spidering motion side to side, Skandasana side to side. The other option, one last little knee stability thing, not strictly yoga, but skater jumps. So whichever leg is on the inside of your mat, pick up that foot, bend that knee. You're gonna look to where you would step for a wide forward fold and just hop to that side of the mat. Switch the legs. Hop back, switch the legs. Land with a soft bend in your knee, and then pause after each one to find balance and stability with that soft bend in the knee. So if you want to match your breath, you can inhale here for balance, exhale to hop, inhale, pause. I'm falling all over. Exhale, hop. Continue side to side. See how fluid and kind of soft and stable you can make your landings on one leg. And it's meant to be tricky, not the easiest thing in the world. One more time each side, and we'll meet back in a Prasarita. Forward fold, let your head release down, steady your breath. Turn back towards the top of your mat. So runner's lunge with your right knee bent. And inhale to lift the right leg high. Exhale to wild thing or three-legged dog. Press your heart and hips up. Return into your downward facing dog. From here, bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. Inhale to prepare. Exhale, step or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold, bend your knees, lower all the way down back to that bridge pose prep we did before. So options again here, you can squeeze the block, same variation we already did, or adding on to that, walk your right foot more to the center of your mat, lift your left foot up high to the ceiling, and do one-legged glute raises. So inhale to lift, exhale to lower, continue with your breath. Might not go as high, but squeeze the glutes the whole time. If you're doing one-legged version, switch the legs. Continue. It's not about how high you lift, but rather finding that engagement of the glutes, hamstrings, all of those muscles that support us when we're on our legs. Next, exhale, slowly lower. Bring one hand to belly, one hand to heart. Walk your feet to the side edges of your mat and let your knees knock in towards each other. Constructive rest pose. Pause here. And as you feel ready, hug your knees in towards you. Rock forward and back a couple times. All the way up to a seat, or all the way up to standing. So last thing with the wall, if you want it, is to bring your back all the way to the wall. Step your feet out enough distance from the wall so you can bend your knees and have like a 90-degree angle with your knees in a wall sit. I promise we're not just staying here. I know we're doing a lot of like conditioning type things in our practice today. That's okay. So this option is from your wall sit, lower another halfway down. So not all the way down, but bring your knees to about a 45-degree angle back to the wall. And then press into your feet, stand all the way up. That's your inhale. Your exhale, bend your knees, lower knees to 45 degrees. Inhale, press up. And do this however many times you want. This is our last little knee strengthening exercise for the day. Let me know if there's any questions. Once you've done a few of those, make your way to a seat on your mat. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Shake them out. Circle your toes. Mobility through your ankles. And then find a V shape for your Upavishta Konasana. Nice tall spine. Feet engaged, so toes flex back towards you. Inhale here. Exhale to stay or start to lean forward. Stop wherever you feel a good amount of stretch through the inner thighs, adductor muscles. So hands can rest on top of your ankles. And rest of forearms, rest your forearms or your head to a block. Make yourself a pillow. Many options here. We'll stay for 1 whole minute, using time to get this opening. A few more deep breaths wherever you are. And inhale, press your way back up to a tall spine. Bring your hands underneath your knees and just use your hands to help you bring your knees to bend, feet to the floor, windshield wiper side to side. From here, transition all the way to your belly, set up Sphinx pose for a final quadricep stretch after all that work. So first, elbows just about under the shoulders or an inch forward from your shoulders. Cross your left hand towards your right wrist, bend your right knee, reach the right hand back to hold on to the inside, big toe side of the foot. If you hold on to the inside of the foot, you should be able to then rotate fingers over your toes. Your elbow lifts. Wherever you are, just find a good thigh stretch by drawing the heel in towards your glutes. Keep pressing into your left forearm to stay in the back bend. Slowly release without slingshotting the foot back down to switch sides. Cross your right palm towards your left wrist. Bend your left knee. Reach back, hold on to the big toe side, and then spin fingers over your toes. Get into this quad stretch. Also kind of opening the left shoulder, which is nice. And carefully release the left foot. Come back to your Sphinx pose and stack your hands at the top of your mat. Rest your forehead all the way down, elbows out. Bend your knees to windshield wiper your feet side to side here on your belly. Take your time, slowly, gently to shift over onto your back. Any final pose or stretch or twist that you might need here. And then find your way eventually to your Shavasana, your resting pose, releasing all effort, releasing control of the breath. We'll take about a 3-minute Shavasana, and then I will bring you back. So I encourage you to give yourself this Shavasana even at home when distractions may be all around. And I will bring you back when it's time to come back. So before we start to come back, just gonna share a good reminder from Sadhguru. And he says, do not try to fix whatever comes into your life. Rather, fix yourself in such a way that whatever comes, you will be fine. So as you slowly prepare to come back, bringing in more breath, bringing in some little reawakening movements, just find a sense of gratitude, appreciation for your body, your mind, your practice, all of the ways that these things work to help you absorb and release the shocks, the impacts, the heaviness of life. And take your time to move through a full body stretch, supported fetal position. Make your way back to your seat. Bringing your hands to heart center. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. The pleasure that we can still connect in this way. Namaste. So thank you both. Feel free to unmute and say bye, or if you need to just jet off into the rest of your day, that's fine also, but thank you.
Are you teaching this time slot usually now or no?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Okay, cool. Very good.
Well, for the next couple weeks at least, I will be.
Sure.
And then I'll be traveling a bit, but
Cool.
I think after I get back, I'll also continue to teach at this time. Yeah.
Sounds good. Great.
Cool.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.